our nation's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent with us this morning. And Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us. We had planned to have you on this program to discuss tariffs, but let me first begin with your reaction. Do you know if President Trump was in Washington at 1:30 a.m. last night?
Good morning, Maria, and good to be with you. I just spoke with President Trump. He spent the night in D.C. He was here for the National Governors Conference. Gave a great speech to the governors last night. And, you know, Maria, I just want to say, why don't we look back here and think two would-be assassins dead, one in jail for life, and you know, this venom coming from the other side. Look at this terrible, profane Senate commercial in Illinois. I would call for them to take that down. Take that down, because it is that kind of venom that, you know, we don't know whether this person was a mastermind, unhinged, or what, but they are normalizing this violence. It's got to stop. I want to congratulate Sean Curran and the Secret Service for protecting the president and his family.
And how is it possible that this individual could have gotten as close as he did to Mar-a-Lago last night?
Yeah, for anyone who's driven along there, the perimeter is very very protected. So, you know, we'll see. I don't know whether, you know, did he come along the beach? Did he? You know, I don't know. But you know, I can tell you the Secret Service is running so much better now than it was in Butler. New leadership, and you know, President Trump and his family, they're safe, but they shouldn't have to endure attempt after attempt.
And Secretary, will there be any further changes in terms of the president's security, the security at Mar-a-Lago post this incident?
Yeah, Maria, I'm not going to discuss that on TV, but you know, I think the perimeter around the president is as strong as it's ever been. But again, you know, this existential threat, this venom from the left, really has to stop. They've normalized this violence.
Yeah, Secretary, I want to get your take on the impact of the Supreme Court's decision. While much of the discussion over the Supreme Court's decision to rule against the president's emergency tariffs, or some of the tariffs, it's been focused on the impact on foreign allies and the president's power. But it's worth noting that this ruling will also have a profound impact on America's fiscal position. The Committee for a Responsible Budget, President Maya McGuinness, told me that the Supreme Court ruling will cut government revenue by $1.9 trillion through fiscal 2036. It will increase debt by $2.4 trillion over the same period. Debt could now rise to 125% of GDP, with deficits rising to more than 7% of GDP. It's worth noting this SCOTUS impact on U.S. debt. Do you believe that the president's actions to come up with tariffs under a different authority will, in fact, replace all of the revenue lost from this ruling?
Yeah, so Maria, let's take a step back here. And Maya McGuinness should be ashamed, and they should take the word responsible out of her organization's name. Everything she told you was completely irresponsible. And look, where were they when the Biden administration blew out the deficit, that we had a fiscal contraction last year? So she should be ashamed. So let me tell you what's going to happen. First, this ruling was a very narrow ruling in terms of the president's ability to use IEPA to collect revenues. The Supreme Court said the president can put in a full embargo, but he cannot collect $1. So the president still has the most draconian measure for negotiations, and you know that under Sections 232, Sections 301, we're already collecting substantial tariff revenue. The IEPA tariffs are going to be replaced in 3 days with the Section 122, and I can tell you at Treasury, contrary to what the Committee for an Irresponsible Budget, or whatever it's called, says, tariff revenue will be unchanged this year and will be unchanged in the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, just to be clear, she's saying the fact that the SCOTUS ruled against the president's emergency tariffs will be problematic for the U.S.'s fiscal policy.
Again, that is wrong.
Okay.
Treasury projections show 2026 revenues are from tariffs unchanged, and all the out years unchanged. What is going to happen, the president announced on Friday and then amended over the weekend, 15% global tariff using a very robust authority from 1974. Those will be layered on with Section 232, Section 301, and the 122s, they run for 150 days, and during that time, Commerce, USTR will be doing studies, and the studies will likely lead to increased tariff revenues. We've been in contact with our foreign trading partners, and they like the tariff deals, so they're not going to be changed. And the president remains undeterred in his determination to lower our trade deficit and bring manufacturing back to the U.S.
Now, Secretary, what about the potential for refunds from the 2025 tariff revenue that you were able to raise? That in and of itself cut into the deficit, and you've talked about that a lot. What can you tell us about how that money will have to be repaid, or is it going to overlap with this new revenue that you will be raising as a result of the 15% tariffs?
Yeah, so Maria, I can't tell you anything because on Friday, the Supreme Court did not address that. They remanded it back to the lower court, and I imagine that we will be hearing from them in weeks or months to come, and then we will follow their instructions.
Okay, so do you expect this to be in the courts? I mean, you've got some corporations saying, I expect a refund at this point.
Well, again, this is a court decision. Supreme Court made one decision. The lower court's going to make another. That it's out of our hands since it's in the court, and we will follow the court's orders.
Now, Secretary, I know that recently the president suggested that there was unlikely a chance for a reconciliation package before the midterm elections. But with this change from SCOTUS on the emergency tariffs, would the president be open to putting tariff legal situation in a reconciliation package? Is that on the table now, once again?
Look, Maria, it could be on the table, but again, we do not need, the administration, the president does not need Congress to move the tariff revenue back up. The president ran and received won the popular vote, won the swing states, won an electoral landslide, and he is fulfilling his mandate to the American people to bring back manufacturing and stop the U.S. from being ripped off by our trading partners. And he used IEEPA for a year and pushed down tariff barriers, non-tariff trade barriers, unfair subsidies, and the trading partners are going to stick with these great deals.
Yeah. So what kind of tariffs, what's the amount of tariffs in question for 2025, and how much tariff revenue are you expecting to raise in 2026, Secretary?
Yes. So the overall amount, if we look, that it's several $100 million. That's as I said, it's going to be unchanged.
So $175 billion in tariffs for 2025, and in 26 unchanged.
Unchanged.
Yes. Secretary, thanks very much for handling all of that. We appreciate your time this morning, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you, Maria.
And to you, Secretary Scott Bessent.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.